our journey began when our son was 5 years old, his first tour of kindergarten. It was recommended that he be retained because he just wasn't keeping up with the rest of the children. At that time, I didn't know that there was a mandated dyslexia screener given to my child or our students. So we retained him. Second year of kindergarten, about week 3, I knew something was wrong. I knew something wasn't quite clicking. As a general ed teacher, I knew there was a learning disability present, only from my experience in the classroom, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know what. So we took him to Connections in Hattiesburg to have him comprehensively assessed because I had no clue what was going on. And then, I mean, I can still picture it today, sitting at that desk.
Yep.
And the pediatrician taking a deep breath and said, "Your child has dyslexia." And then I remember looking over and there's the box of tissues and I'm thinking, okay, can I grab it now? Do I need to listen? And what do I need to do? Along with anxiety due to dyslexia, speech articulation because of dyslexia, and ADD and attentive also from his dyslexia. And then the immediate thought was, oh, okay, dyslexia, I know it's a learning disability, I know it's a reading issue, but I really didn't know what it was. So they were like, well, you need dyslexia therapy. He needs a dyslexia therapist. He needs to see him 3 to 5 times a week. So I took that thinking, all right, we're going to take this to our school and we're going to get this added to his IEP because he already had a speech articulation ruling, and we'll be fine. We'll get the services that we need and he'll get the help that he needs, and that's it. And that was not the case. We were rudely awakened by that is not how the world works or how that world worked at that time.
Not how the school district works.
We were told that we did not offer dyslexia therapy. Good luck. We'll see how he does. There's lots of other dyslexic children in the school. He'll be fine. Well, he just kept.
They don't have to recognize the diagnosis that we had. That really, the sheet of paper really didn't mean a whole lot, and that, pretty much told that we really didn't know what we were talking about.
So we left there defeated, and he continued to be slipping further and further behind. Then I reached out to other families. I reached out on social media and found Decoding Dyslexia Mississippi. And I remember Katie McCustion reaching out to me, and she's like, hey, call me. I need to tell you how things work in Mississippi. Because I had all these other people from other parts of the world or in the nation saying that you need this, you need that. Which I called her, and oh my gosh, she will always have a special place in my heart because she really gave us the direction and information that was not given by our schools, and the guidance that we needed to get our child the help that he needed. So she armed me with what I needed, went back into that IEP meeting. I said, yes, you're going to provide services. Yes, you're going to put dyslexia on his IEP. And we were pretty much told no again.
Still didn't know what we were talking about. They didn't have to recognize it.
So then we left there, and unfortunately, we had to go reach out to an attorney. And the attorney had to write a letter to the district's attorney and said, hey, you're denying this child's disability that's covered under IDEA. You're denying his civil right to a free and appropriate, adequate public education. And then the district attorney said, well, the Ferrettis have denied services. Well, we were never offered services to be denied, and so they were mistold and misled as well. After it was all said and done, that dreaded D word was added to his IEP. They did recognize dyslexia, however, they still were not offering dyslexia therapy, and that is what he needed to be successful in the classroom in order to retrain his brain or train his brain how to process language and reading. So I applied. I'm a teacher by trade, so I was like, well, we can't move to South Mississippi. We don't want to break up our family. and send our child to 3D school. There was only one therapist at North New Summit in Greenwood. So what do? I applied to Mississippi College and got into their dyslexia therapy program. And so we incurred that extra debt and that extra burden of me having to go back to school. Did I want to go back to school? No, that was not, I would not have ever chosen, hey, I'm gonna go get my master's in this and this is what I wanna do. I thought I was pretty much done with school when I graduated in 2006. But that wasn't God's plan for us. So I had to go back to school in order to help my child. Since dyslexia is hereditary, we knew that the chances of our other children being dyslexic were great, and of course we're right. I do have 2 diagnosed dyslexic children, and the last one is more than likely she is dyslexic as well. If we had a choice, if we had an option immediately of being provided dyslexia therapy through another school or another service, obviously we would have gone that route. That would have been the best choice. But our family has had to incur more burden and more cost because that wasn't a choice for us. We have applied for ESA, and unfortunately there's only so much money that can go around, and we are put on the waiting list. So now we were like, okay, what do we do? Do we wait, let our child fail some more, let them be defeated even more every day? My child's 8. He's 8 years old. He was coming home with stomach aches, headaches, begged not to go to school, crying, please don't send me, I don't want to go, I hate school, I hate my teacher, I hate my school, I hate my class. Being defeated every day. And what do you do as a parent? I mean, you what do you do?
It breaks your heart.
And I couldn't imagine, like, I had never felt that way going to school. And I went to my husband, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it kills me. It hurts my heart. It breaks my soul knowing that I'm sending my child to be defeated, to be a statistic, to be just passed through. So we made the decision to go ahead and pull him because unfortunately ESA was not announced if you got it or not until July, and we didn't have that time. Time was very precious. It was very precious to us, to all dyslexic children. Early intervention is the key. So we enrolled them in private school. We are in week 8. I'm allowed to come in and do therapy with my children during the school day, so that is not incurred on them after school, because as we all know, it takes dyslexics twice as long to do homework, to study, than a non-dyslexic student. So that stress has been removed from our family.
Yes.
But other stresses haven't been incurred on us financially, paying for my tuition to go back to school. I'm not able to work in a classroom right now because I'm in school and doing therapy with our children. And also other therapy services that our children need. They need speech, so they're taking private speech therapy. And if we were able to, or are able to get ESA, that would remove so much burden upon us financially to be able to pay for those services, to pay for that tuition. But we had to make a choice as a parent. What is best for our children? What are we going to do to help them succeed? We all want our children to succeed. I don't think if you ever asked a parent, like, hey, do you care if your child's successful? They're not going to say, no, I don't want them to succeed. I want them to fail in school. We all want our children to do well. And each child will succeed in whatever environment is best for that child. And my children needed a smaller classroom. They need individualized instruction. They need Orton Gillingham-based therapy. My needs for our children are totally different than our neighbors' children. And our story is, yes, it's ours, and we own that, but our story is the same for other families in Mississippi. It's just different faces, different towns. And this ESA expansion, the dyslexia scholarship, is life changing. It's game changers for families, to actually truly give them a choice and empower them, to educate their children in the conducive environment that they need. And we can speak of it as, because we live with it. We live with dyslexia every day. I work with dyslexia every day. And now our children are happy. Thomas comes home, he is not mad. He is happy. He can't wait to tell us about his day and what he did at school. It's not, oh, I gotta go see my mom for therapy, or I hate therapy. Now he enjoys it because I can do it with him during the school day. And that leaves time for me to actually be mommy instead of the therapist and the tutor. So I get to be mommy again.
After 3 o'clock.
And that is, I think that's priceless, that we get to be his parents after school and not be the drudgery of the therapist or the teacher or the tutor.
Yes, a child needs that release in the afternoons, you know, to where you can come home and play kickball in the yard, or, you know, just hang out and do what he wants to do as far as, you know, release those energies. He needs that, versus after 3 o'clock, do 2 hours of therapy and do an hour of homework, and then by that time it's, you know, 6 o'clock in the afternoon and time to take a bath, eat supper, go to bed, and repeat that 5 days a week. So.
But with that being said, school choice is the best opportunity and decision for us. It would be a lot better for us and other families financially if we were offered or received that expansion.
It's the best. School choice would be the best for every family, because that individual household would be able to make the decision on where they want to send their child, whether it be public, private, home. You know, the choice would be theirs, and it wouldn't dictate, a zip code wouldn't dictate where your child goes to school.